Hi everyone, it's I don't know, about 10 o'clock at night, and we've had such a busy day today. Lovely but busy, and it's been so nice. This bed is wonderful, so comfortable. So pardon me for lying down while making this video. It's just a quick react really to what's going on with Foodie Beauty and the current situation with regard to this new man in her life, her love as she calls him. She'd met him, she had met him, inverted commas, via some dating appointment, something, and 2 days later Chantal had a marriage proposal from him. He was gonna buy her a ticket to fly out to Kuwait this month, I believe, when she's got the house move at the end of the month. Anyway, it's all been sort of up in the air about what she's gonna be doing and whether she was going to be going and leaving Pete's behind with the cats, etc. And I must admit that even for her, wearing a hijab came as a little bit of a shock to me. For her, it's a new low, and I'll tell you why. There are women at present, as I speak, women who have been beaten, cowed, beaten to death in some instances for not wearing the hijab, or as in the case of the Miss Amina lady, 23-year-old I believe she was, beaten to death after she'd been taken into custody by the Matawa, the religious police in Iran, for not wearing the hijab correctly. Maybe she had a few strands of hair peeking out. I can tell Chantal, or anybody else who'd like to listen, that being in the Middle East is no joke. That being in the Middle East, if you're a Western woman on your own, is no joke. Even in my instance, I was working out there in Riyadh and then Dhahran. It's not a safe place to be, it's not. And she is going to go out there at some stage, so she says. She's going to go out there to Kuwait. Her love, as she calls him, is going to pick her up at the airport. One rule broken: you are not allowed as a female to get into a car or even be alone with somebody who isn't a male blood relation. Now, Kuwait, I've got no doubt, is a lot different, a lot less stringent in imposing penalties than would be, say, for example, Riyadh. But nevertheless, those penalties still exist, and the religious police are still there, whether it be Kuwait, Bahrain, Dhahran, Riyadh. The religious police are still there. Chantal seems to think that Kuwait is nothing like other Middle Eastern countries, or is nothing like Afghanistan, and there is no war going on there, and it is a lot less stringent, but nevertheless it's still going against the tenets of Islam for her, as a single Western woman, to be alone with a man, let alone being alone with him, going out to stay with him as a single woman in his apartment, which is what she intends to do. The religious police can come knocking at any time, anywhere in those countries. They can pick you up and they can drag you off, even if you weigh 500 pounds. And who knows, heaven forbid that you should meet the same fate as Miss Amina. My advice to Chantal would be this: think again. You're talking about going out there, staying with a man. He's asked you to marry him. You want to marry him. You're planning in a whole new life and career together on YouTube after only 2 days. 2 days. It's crazy. You're calling him your boyfriend. You haven't even met him. You haven't even been in the same room with him. You haven't even held his hand. And yet, he's your boyfriend. When you go out to a Middle Eastern country, even, Kuwait, you're going to have to wear an abaya, which is an outer garment, usually silky outer garment that covers you from your neck down to your mid-calf or ankle length. And you'd be expected to wear that. We all had to wear them when we went out shopping. And going out shopping isn't like going into Pennington's, believe me, it isn't. You are going to meet with so much disapproval out there. You're going to meet with so much open hostility as a Western woman out there, a single Western woman weighing 500 pounds who has gone out there to be with a Muslim man, staying with a Muslim man who isn't a relative. It's absolute lunacy of the highest order. And you think you know what you're getting into. You do not. You do not know. But I can tell you some tales, and they aren't pretty. My advice to you would be to drop all this nonsense, and if you do want to be with this man, meet him. By all means, meet him somewhere that's totally neutral. Meet him in Malta. Meet him in, well, I was going to say Cyprus, but meet him in Malta. Meet him in the Philippines. Marginally less dangerous. Meet him in Europe, but don't meet him in a Middle Eastern country. And if you think that he isn't going to be laying down the law to you, think again. He's already started. He's already started by wanting you to wear the hijab. No need for it. We've all seen what you look like. We've all seen all your pictures. You say it's the past, but you know, take down all your videos then. Take down every video where you are either belching, burping, farting, sitting there in your bra, sitting there almost in the altogether. Take down all those videos if you're serious. It's crazy, it really is. If you're doing this for views, to stir up interest in your channel, which has been losing views, losing money, if you're doing it for that reason, it's repulsive. If you're doing it, as I say, for the genuine reason of wanting to go out there to be with him, as I say, it's sheer lunacy. And believe you me, you think he's not controlling, he's already started by wanting you to wear insisting that you wear the abaya, the hijab. Next it will be the full Monty, so to speak. He'll probably get you wearing the burqa. I don't know what the situation is with getting married out there in Kuwait for a man who has only met this Western woman with no mutual friends, who's gone out there as a single Western woman, unaccompanied, no chaperone, and he's, but to all intents and purposes, cohabiting with him. You think the Matawa, the religious police, are going to look happily on that? They are not. In Riyadh, in Dhahran, in other places in the Middle East, not too far from Kuwait, you would be literally dragged away and thrown into a jail cell. You would likely be whipped, as I've seen happen out there. Whipped with a stamp in your passport, eventually when they let you go, marked as, let's say, street worker. I won't say the word pro, but a street worker, stamped. And that will be the reason that they've deported you, never to return. After you've had the experience of being in the jail cell, after you've had the experience of being beaten, after you've had the experience of being whipped, after you've had the humiliating experience of the police attacking you and abusing you in all sorts of ways. And I'm speaking from the experience of what I've seen happen out there. What I've seen happen to a Canadian woman who had the temerity to be caught got out of the cab, and they were walking just along the street to a villa there where there was a party that they were invited to, but they got out of the cab and stupidly, and she wasn't wearing her abaya, it was over her arm, and they were stopped by the religious police. He was, the man was Scottish, she was Canadian. They were both jailed. He was whipped. They were both eventually deported after the respective embassies had stepped in to get them freed. This is what goes on out there. It's a regular occurrence. You think you know all about Middle Eastern men. You don't. You know zilch. You know zilch about the culture. You know zilch about their attitudes toward women. And you're going to find out in the most horrific way if you do decide stupidly to just pack a bag, fly out there to meet a man you've never met and to accept his proposal of marriage whilst you're living with him. And once you've got that ring on your finger, you will be under his control. Totally. He came into your I haven't watched any of YouTube, but somebody mentioned that he came onto one of your videos and you made him a mod, and that he was actually going mad with his wrench, and he was blocking people, removing people who he felt were being disrespectful in the chat simply because they said a word that he didn't like. Not a profanity, but he just didn't like their attitude. And here he comes as a mod, first time ever, out of nowhere, blocking your beezers who pay you, what is it, $6-7 a month for months on end, and he's blocking them. And one more thing, I was told that a couple of your mods were saying that oh well, we're here, we've unblocked them. Nonsense. Because as far as I know, strike me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, if somebody has been blocked in that way from your channel, it's only the channel owner, the channel creator, that can unblock those people and have them reinstated. So either your other moderators were lying, or they hadn't been blocked at all, or there's something, as they say, that saying goes, something smells rotten in Denmark, and it's not the bacon, which, by the way, you won't be able to eat. You are in for a massive culture shock, madam. Massive. You think the NADA experience was bad. Just wait. Just you wait. Ridiculous woman. I'll be back. I'm going to take some footage tomorrow. We're going to have another good look round the grounds. The weather hasn't been great, but it's going to be a nice day tomorrow. So I'll get some good footage and see you then. Have a great night, day, whatever you're doing. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.